in any art community, but New York is tough. There are so many artists, visual artists in New York, as well as so many performing artists and instrumental artists, that everyone wants to be here. Everyone wants to be in London. Everyone wants to be in Paris. I mean, that's where you want to hit it for notoriety and just being known for your work. So it's a dog-eat-dog world. Well, I always wanted to be an artist, but growing up and looking at careers, many people told me that it's really hard to make a living being an artist, or you can't be an artist. But I always had that desire to do so. I went through college, studied sports medicine, and when I got a job in sports medicine, I had some money left that I had savings of, and I started making art in the evenings and the weekends because I loved to do it. And I kept doing that for about 3 years, and I really loved to do it. So I actually at one point was doing a whole day job, like 50 hours a week, then going home, going to the gym, and going to the studio till 1 o'clock in the morning, waking up at 7 to be at work at 8:30, and start the cycle all over again. And I did that for about 2 years, and it was pretty tiring. What do I really want to do to be happy? Because my parents died at 52, and they provided for us, and we had a great lifestyle, but I know they didn't love what they did for work. And I realized I wanted to do something that I would love to do for the rest of my life. It was by the passing of my parents that I said, I'm going to give this art thing a try. So with my savings I took a year and a half off of work. I said, I'm just going to focus on art and see if I can make it happen. And that's been, what, 13 years from now. I didn't like the structure of, if you come in 5 minutes late, someone's going to walk up to your office and say, hey, look, you're 5 minutes late. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'll put in an honest day's work, I'll work longer or whatever, but the controlling issue of working for someone, I had difficulty with. And now having a completely free schedule, completely flexible, as long as I do my work, get my work done, which I'm happy to do. I mean, I love this, so I work all day long and all night long. But also, there's a lot of pressure because you're not working for someone and the paycheck comes every 2 weeks. So you have to have the discipline and the stick-to-itiveness. And sometimes, it comes and it wanes, and if you're not working, not putting honest days' work in, the paycheck doesn't come. This is one of my many boxes here of items that I collect because I like them, and I maybe I'll use them. And some of the other styles that you've seen in my studio that works on paper, I'll photograph these images or take photographs from the real world that I shoot, and I incorporate them. So I've had these. These are from a 1895 anatomy text. I have a bunch of books here, a bunch of other books in my other studio, and antiquated books. Again, I'm fascinated with them, because you even read through them now, and there's so much misinformation about medicine and science in these books that we've learned over the last, century. Sardine wrappers. There's a bag of flour, sugar container. And Pope John Paul when he was on the way out. I have a couple pieces of artwork with Pope John Paul. Some works with Pope John Paul and Lincoln I've used, and I actually will fire 22 magnums through the images with the connection of their assassinations, or assassination attempt in the case of John Paul. Cigarette cartons I collect around the world. I really don't smoke, but they're fascinating. These items are made to, they're comfortable in your hand, They're comfortable in your hand, they're beautiful. Lucky Strikes, my dad smoked Lucky Strikes for years. And actually, there's a piece up there on the wall that has his favorite cigarette. He smoked for about 30 years. His ultimate demise was lung cancer. And I use it many times as an homage to him. I use it because the packaging is gorgeous. It makes you, if you ever have one in your hand, there's something about it, even though if you don't want to smoke, it feels right and it looks right. The composition, the color, the graphic design, the packaging design. It's very intriguing. And a little piece of does tobacco and paper can have such control on your life and your family's life. The Arches has a bit more to it. You have to, in a way, make those people, it sounds manipulative, but you need to find a way to make the people that are important that you want to show with, you have to make them think they discovered you some way. You have to make the power structure sort of shift so it appears that they made the discovery. So you can't go directly in and say, can you see my portfolio? You can't necessarily just email someone up and say, please come to my studio and take a look at things and see if we can have a show. You've got to network. You got to sort of find ways around, maybe friends that have an in, and even if they just mention your name in passing and then you make an approach, that makes a big difference. So you have to be nimble in your marketing strategies. You have to be resilient for a lot of rejections.
Found art made into a work of art. Here we go. I think we can get about $3,000 for this. This will sit in some home on Park Avenue as part of the collection.
Yeah, these are
Maybe
keys.
the Rebel collection will take it.
Perfect.
I can see that you're the kind of artist that if he's just walking down any street, he is completely inspired by everything. Everything.
Well, I go into dumpsters all the time.
Everything you look at is
there's a possibility.
Is a possibility for adaptation or appropriation for your art.
I always bring stuff back here, and if I don't use it in a couple months, then I'll put it back out in circulation for someone else to find in a dumpster.
Beautiful. I love the way you've introduced the orange circle right there. That little touch of.
Just a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is a beauty. Look at that. That's a lot of fun.
That was shot.
I'd like to own that one right now. That's great. I love this.
See how it, yeah.
That's fabulous.
And
fabulous. And these are beautiful.
And this is just a cardboard I find on the street. And then house interior latex, semi-gloss. And then the polyurethane makes it glossy. So here, like some that, leave them back here.
So these are just done on cardboard.
Yeah. Like here's one that's in
great.
process.
What I love about a lot of your work is like you just can flip it any way and it works. The composition is just so excellent that you can just flip it and it.
So, yeah.
The balance is there. Yeah. I don't think I've encountered an artist that can work in so many mediums and explore so many different mediums and processes and pull it off so successfully, because some people say, well, you're all over the place. Yeah, you are all over the place, but you're doing it really well.
Thank you.
And I really have to congratulate you on that, because there's a consistency in the value and the integrity of the art.
Thank you.
Here.
Have you ever smelled coal?
Oh, no.
Can you smell it?
Oh, it's incredible.
It's like creosote.
Totally, like I'm in the mine. That's great. Can I touch it?
Yeah.
Wow. And of course we
and
have
that's
that
called soft
horrible
coal.
tragedy of these miners
in West Virginia.
Yeah. Now he was telling me about his grandfather was a coal miner, and he was inspired as a child. What were you saying?
Well, I'd be working in his shop downstairs, and it was a dirt floor and the brick walls and very ill lit, and would be creating things with his hand tools, and have to fire up the furnace. So we'd go over to the coal bin, shovel coal into the furnace, and go right back into working with dirty coal covered hands with the woodwork and his other tools. So when he passed, I was like, why did I think about using coal? And it's so great. So I went to his coal bin the day after he died, and I collected probably about 40 pounds of coal.
Look at that. And just, the light catches
when it's lit, it sparkles. All the facets of the coal dust.
The facets of the coal. Oh, who knew that coal could be so gem-like and beautiful?
It's the precursor to diamonds.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but you don't think about it.
No, you don't think about it.
It's a crystal structure with the coal.
Oh, I love this piece.
Okay, cool.
You know, I'm probably going to get in a situation where I may be borrowing your work for a 24-hour period and then coming
to show
back.
clients. That's great.
Which is how I've done it. I find that when you bring the art to the client, if you can, if it's not too unwieldy and you can
Sure.
get it in a taxi or whatever, which I'm good at doing. So these people are often so busy and they don't have a minute.
Sure.
So they
once you
really,
get it there,
and when you put it
a lot of
right
times
in
it
front
stays.
of them,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know, you learn you get tougher as you move on and further within the industry. And some days it just hits, and some weeks it clicks, and then sometimes there's weeks that you're just not able to meet or get your work seen. So you just keep forging ahead, and you have to be prideful of yourself that you're doing honest work and you're dedicated to it. But I think I don't know, I think it's nothing magical to create art. It's just, it's a desire, it's a strong desire.